Giant lecture halls are something that's expected when coming to a big school like Michigan. There are cons to being in a large lecture hall. In order to assess the pain points of this, we started targeting bio GSIs to help us find out more about this problem. However, after 2 weeks of reaching out, we received minimal feedback. So we decided to pivot towards students for feedback.
We attempted to reach out to all biology GSIs by email. However, for every 15 emails we sent, we only got one response. This forced us to have to change our customer segment to something else. We changed our new customer segment to students who were nervous or too scared to ask questions during lecture. 2 weeks into the project, even though we had to change our customer segment, we immediately started doing customer discovery interviews in order to catch up. Our 3 questions that we asked were: 1. Have you ever wished you asked a question in lecture or discussion but did not? If so, why? 2. Tell me about a time you wished you asked a question in lecture or discussion, and if you had the opportunity to ask it anonymously, would you have done it? And 3. What kind of classes does this tend to happen in, lecture or discussion?
Yes, because I disagreed with something a girl said and I didn't want to call her out.
So I normally don't ask questions in lecture because I'm kind of more of a shy personality, so I don't feel comfortable raising my hand in front of a lecture class of like 100 and so people.
Tell me about a time you wish you asked a question in class but didn't.
Yeah, so one time that comes to mind specifically for me was a discussion section I had where a large percentage of the grade was based on our participation in that class. And it was actually a class I was genuinely interested in, and I always wanted to talk. I had a lot to say, but every time I went to say something, I would look to like my right or just look next to me, and I was always sitting next to this very attractive girl. And because of just the way like the social construct of our society is set up, it was just, for me, I was always wondering, is she gonna like what I have to say, and is she gonna find that attractive? And I'm laughing, but it was very serious, and for me, like it caused me to not really want to say that much, and I get really anxious in social situations.
After doing customer discovery interviews, we created an initial empathy map where we uncovered that students feel shy, dumb, and or uncomfortable asking questions in front of a large group of people. We thought that an anonymous live platform for asking questions could be a potential solution. We then continued to ask more questions.
I'm more comfortable submitting a question online during lecture that would pop up to her that'd be anonymous, and then she could answer my question from there.
Yes, I would prefer to ask my question anonymously because I felt like I could be honest and I wouldn't hurt anyone's feelings.
After our 50 discovery interviews, we concluded that people generally thought that asking anonymous questions could be a good solution. We also found that this problem usually occurs in large lectures rather than discussion classes.
I think it's a fantastic idea. I mean, anything that lowers the barrier to getting those questions out sounds great, because you're right, the issue of raising your hand. If you notice in here, of all the hands that have been raised in this entire term, it's less than 25 people, and 10 of them comprise 80% of the responses. So that's a problem, because we have all this knowledge that isn't getting brought out, right? And all these questions that I know exist, and all these misconceptions I know exist, and they're not getting that answer, and they're not feeling as involved. So I think it would be great.
In order to solve the problems that our customers were having, we decided to create a platform where students can submit anonymous questions online live directly to their GSI, where the GSI can filter through the questions, and the most popular questions can be forwarded to the professor to answer throughout lecture. Additionally, the GSI can tailor their discussion sections based on the questions asked on our platform. If the professor wants to sign up for this solution, they can fill out the contact sheet in order to create a specific live stream for that class.
With our solution, we believe that students are now able to ask questions more freely and are able to learn more throughout the class.
So I just looked at the Question Hero prototype, and I think it's a really cool idea. A lot of times I feel awkward asking a question in class, especially if I don't think other people have that same question. So I like how here the most relevant questions are answered during class, and then if it wasn't as relevant, it's just to your GSI so they can get back to you later. Maybe for classes that can't have laptops, if you could have a text-in option. I know a lot of more teachers would maybe be open to just sending in a question via text instead of having your laptop out the whole entire class.
We are now considering including a text-in option for asking questions through our platform due to the fact that not all lectures allow laptops. This way, more classes have the ability to participate using our solution.